Spring cleaning is often thought of in the physical sense, out with the old, in with the new, but our next guest says in order to embrace new opportunities, you need to do some mental house cleaning as well. Life coach Lisa Nkonoki is here to tell us how exactly we do that. Nice to have you back here.
Good morning. Good afternoon.
There you go. Lisa, what is mental clutter?
Well, basically, we all have it. You know, it just depends on how we process it. You know, some of us have a high tolerance, some of us have a low tolerance, but all of us have it. And for example, if you're getting ready to do something, we have some trepidation about doing things.
Sure.
You know, whether it's planning a wedding, which can be exciting,
Sure.
but then it can be stressful.
Absolutely.
Kids getting out of school for the summer. That could be like, wow, yay. But then on the other hand, whole new ball game.
What exactly are you going to do with them?
What are we going to do? I know I've accounted for my grandkids. They're out for 3 months, June 4th to September 4th. Long time, 3 months.
But you always have great trips planned too.
Yes, I have great trips, but at the end of the day, it doesn't mean that it doesn't take some energy to get those things in order. And 8 grandkids, different age ranges.
Wow.
That takes some real planning. So in order to do that and have a fresh mind, you have to kind of put yourself in the foot of the children at that age. And I always say to people, put yourself in someone else's position. Think out of the box, whether it's culturally, whether it's from a different, even if you're a male thinking of something, what would a female like to do? I think we think too often just what's typical. We don't like to think out of the box and kind of say, what's different?
Sure.
So for example, when you're talking about a wedding, we talked about jumping the broom, sweeping out the old, bringing in the new.
Sure.
Well, people wonder, that's a big African tradition, an African-American tradition that people have adopted. Similar to the Jewish faith where you get married under the chuppah and at the end you break the glass. People wonder, why are those things important? Because you're really reflecting on people that came before you and trying to make a new start. So I think in terms of when you talk about mental clutter, just like cleaning a house, get some ideas from other people, have a conversation. Go to Pinterest. That's another idea. You can go on
You
your
do like
Pinterest
Pinterest.
board. Yes, you can go on your Pinterest board because that's a way to kind of connect with people without having to talk about it. You can kind of explore what's on other people's minds. I think too often we would like to peer into Kim Kardashian, Kanye. Sometimes people want to look at those things. They might not want to be all that they are, but it gives you some ideas about what can you do. I think after their wedding, did they wear motorcycle jackets or something that said, you know, just married his and her, you know.
Oh boy.
And they're just different ideas that maybe we can incorporate on a smaller scale into our own lives when it comes to the kids and activities. You know, what would you do? Say if you don't have a lot of money, what would you do to try and think about, I'm thinking about how do I keep traffic down with 8 kids and everybody want to do swimming twice a day, do camp. So you have to think in terms of, okay, how are we going to have towels here without making my life more crazy, because I hate to do laundry.
That's that mental clutter. You don't need any more of it. So what happens if we're not able to get rid of that mental clutter?
Well, one of the things too is, you know, people sometimes take when other people are offering advice or offering suggestions, they take it sometimes like nobody asked you. And I think, again, we have to open ourselves to put ourselves in somebody else's place. If we're moving towards solutions, it might be something that you didn't think about. And it's not always bad to kind of just take some inventory and kind of say, well, you know, I never thought about doing that. Or even just say, you know what, I am a closed-minded person, and maybe I could use some help in thinking out of the box and shaking things up and changing it. The reason we all love the Pharrell song Happy, we're all trying to get to that destination. If you really agree with this, everybody doesn't not agree with the fact of happy, but it makes us all want to move and groove and do something. And that's something, it's charging us with something. When you do the electric slide, it's charging us with something. So I think we have to, again, think of what moves us to action, because too often we're stuck and steeped in tradition, but tradition doesn't necessarily move us forward.
So you say it's so important to embrace those new opportunities, just let go, kind of surrender to it rather than have that mental clutter, thinking about it, preparing for it.
Right. Well, I know a good couple of examples. I have a client who had a situation where she had a bad experience in the store. And, you know, she's moved forward and she went back into that store last week and said, I went into the store. Now to somebody else, they'd be like, what's the big deal? But if you had a bad experience and someone accused you of something and you didn't feel comfortable doing that again, that breakthrough for you of just trying it again, getting back up on the horse more or less, is a huge step to move forward. Same thing with another person with a wedding. I had experience myself where you have someone that says, you know, maybe they don't say to you, we don't want you at the wedding, or we're not going to be able to invite you. having that conversation, thinking about long-term implications as opposed to thinking about short-term or avoiding the conversation. People sometimes think avoiding the conversation makes things better. Doesn't change it. Doesn't get better.
Right.
You still are related long-term. It's something that I feel that having a conversation, writing a note, writing an email, whatever, to just kind of express where you're at, even if it's under stress. Say, you know, I'm under stress, can't deal with this now, but can we have a date after?
Sure,
Can we have
just
a lunch
tackle it,
after?
right?
Tackle it, because not tackling it just makes the problem bigger.
Very good advice, Lisa. Thank you so much. Your website where we can find more?
LisaNkonoki.com.
Very good. Thanks for being here.
Thank you, and don't forget, this is summertime, so really you have to prepare for summer, just like it's back to school. I think of the Staples commercial. Yes, they're going
Most
back.
wonderful time of the year. Good
That's
thought.
it.
All right, Lisa, thanks again.